Hello and welcome to the podcast for May 17, 2013. I'm your host Ed Smith and welcome to Totally Outdoors NL. The Provincial Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Division is investigating an incident of moose poaching. The investigation is focusing on the Stephenville Crossing area. A spokesperson for the Department of Justice says they won't be commenting any further at this time because of the ongoing investigation. The report of moose being poached was first placed to the RCMP, and the RCMP officers forwarded that complaint to wildlife officials. Well, Parks Canada has launched its The Bear Smart Community Program to educate residents and campers about the animals. Parks Canada says black bears and other wildlife are very active during this time of year, especially in the Terra Nova National Park. Officials are warning campers and others not to leave organic garbage or other food remnants outside, since bears will forage in populated areas. The program is designed to limit the risk of bear-human encounters and educate the public on interactions with other local wildlife. Unfortunately, there's an illegal dump site to be cleared from the town of Bishop Falls. Mayor Bob Hobbs says the illegal dump site has been growing in size for the past week or so. And already they have dug 5 names out of that pile. These people could face charges or fines. Mayor Bob Hobbs says it's sad to see that some people are just not getting the message. There is a big spring cleanup scheduled for next week at sites of illegal dumping in Grand Falls, Windsor. There are 4 separate trash heaps along an 8-kilometer stretch on the opposite side of the road from the Exploits River, just outside the town limits. There is a dead moose that is causing traffic snarls. A moose carcass left on one of the province's major roads has been slowing traffic ever since late last week. The dead moose has been left on the road from Lewisport to Campbellton since there was an accident last Friday evening. People are complaining that they've been calling St. John's and Corner Brook numbers trying to get a hold of Wildlife Services and or the RCMP, but cannot get any answer. There was a cabin that was destroyed near Glovertown, just outside of Terra Nova. Glovertown mayor says the Department of Forestry responded with a helicopter, water bomber, and fire crews. The fire broke out 3 kilometers from town of Glovertown. Well, there are many hunting groups throughout the province that want the hunting age lowered to 12. Wendell Smith, the president of the Upper Humber Rod and Gun Association, said people who start out hunting at a younger age develop better skills. Newfoundland and Labrador currently has the highest age restrictions in place for hunters. The Newfoundland Federation of Hunters and Anglers says having a higher age limit may deter young people from taking up hunting. Barry Fordham, spokesman for the group, said the group is recommending the age restrictions to be lowered, along with adding adult supervision for younger hunters, who would then be able to hunt. It is very important to stress here that we are not giving a kid a gun to go out into the field by themselves, Fordham said. It's under strict, qualified adult supervision. In other provinces, 12-year-olds are able to go hunting with a gun and can shoot small game with adult supervision. Minister Tom Henderson said the province is considering the similar approach, but they are still looking in how it works in other provinces before changing the regulations here. The RCMP rescued a 76-year-old man from St. John's this past week. Holyrood RCMP say he went fishing and couldn't find his way back to his car. Sergeant Barry Pitcher says that they have made contact with him via cell phone, and the Avalon Northern Wolverines Ground Search and Rescue were called in to help out. A man who tried to flee from police on an ATV in Kelligrews in CBS early this morning is facing charges. RNC say the man was spotted on a public road operating an all-terrain vehicle. When officers attempted to stop him, he sped off onto the trailway system. Officers located the 21-year-old driver a short time later. He's facing a number of charges under the Highway Traffic Act, and he was also found to be impaired and in breaching a court order. The ATV was impounded, and he is held over to appear in court later this morning. The fisheries minister say some of the salmon that escaped from a farm on the south coast have been recaptured. Derek Daly says the farm's salmon were located in Garnish River on April the 30th, making the first escape since 2010. Daly says the code of containment was immediately followed, and DFO investigated into the recapture plan. He says the salmon will be genetically tested to determine where they came from. And in the House of Assembly yesterday, critic Jim Bennett said the escapees posed a great threat, increasing the risk of disease and transfer and interbreeding, referring to these escapees as Frankenfish. He accuses government of covering up the information related to the salmon escapes, and as well as information on sea lice and dead and dying salmon. Police are reminding campers and fishermen who plan to be heading out into the woods this weekend to be safe. Sergeant Barry Pitcher with the Holyrood RCMP says, make sure cell phone batteries are charged fully. Take extra batteries for your GPS system, and says let someone know where you're going and when you're planning to go back to your vehicle. He says this helps searchers and their police dogs in helping locate a missing individual. Pitcher says if someone becomes disoriented, it's best to call someone, sit down, relax, and not panic. He says it's always important to be prepared and at least have 1 day's food and water, warm clothing, some type of shelter. It's recommended to wear bright clothing, Pitcher says, and if you're going to use a map and compass, be sure to know how to use them properly. Well, that has been a busy week this week in the news. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the May 24th weekend. Be safe out there and enjoy it. Even though the weather might not be great, still enjoy the time. And this is Ed Smith signing off for the Totally Outdoors News Podcast for May 17th, 2013. Thank you, and have a great day.